the fake, delusional, and disingenuous. He stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. You take a moment to like, share, and subscribe if you like the content, and also hit that notification button just to make sure that you're being notified of new content if you like the content. Today, we're going to take a look at some new information. Not so new. This is out, a few months ago, where yet again they are playing with characters that we grew up, loving to hate, loving to laugh at, and they had nothing to do with this community that they are now trying to include everybody into. So now we have a trans Joker story where DC writers have basically made the Joker pregnant. He basically wanted a son, so he tried to have a son with a magic user, and she basically did a curse on him and ended up, making him able to have kids. So it's a twisted tale, but it still made him into a trans character, and he actually gives birth to a Joker kid, which it's just crazy. I mean, why are we having to endure this type of stuff? Why is it that this is being forced upon us? I mean, finally Disney is, backpedaling on all of their, inclusiveness. We see that they got rid of one of their executives because, she was not willing to pull some of her inclusiveness that was included into Ant-Man Quantumania movie, and it was just all over the top, inclusiveness. And the studio was like, no, this is too much. And she said, this is just too much. This is going back on my belief system, and I will just not do it. But we all know that, we're not supposed to, go to our jobs and just say, well, look, this goes against my beliefs. We do things on our jobs that go against our personal, stuff that we have to deal with, our beliefs all the time. You are not supposed to impose your belief system on people that you work with, the people that you work for, your patients, whatever the case may be, whatever profession that you're in, your students, whatever. You're not supposed to do that. But in this day and age, everybody does it. It's like, oh, you will, call me whatever I want you to call me, and you will see me as whatever I want you to see me as, and it just, the lunacy just compounds and continues and continues. So, here we have this story. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this craziness. How else can I describe it? Oh, God. I mess with my Batman characters, and it's just ridiculous. I don't even know how we're supposed to even go to sleep at night with all this inclusiveness. So, here we go here. Joker gets pregnant in a new comic series that just rolled out. which is expectedly drawing some outrage and backlash among certain demographics. Can you guess who? The latest story about the Clown Prince of Darkness comes from DC's The Man Who Stopped Laughing series, which explores different plots and subplots for the Joker, and some aren't even canonical, okay? Including this one about him growing a baby bump. Okay, so here's a little deal here from Twitter where it says, so the Joker is pregnant in the current DC comics. Well, what have we here? The Joker says, I think you're pregnant. So another character says, and the Joker says, I think you're right. So then he says, do we have a good OBGYN we use? Okay. So then they're going out farther into the article, and it says it dropped a few days ago, and people immediately noticed that the writer Matthew Rosenberg and cartoonist Carmine Dominicio concocted a tale about Joker wanting an heir, but one that was of his DNA. So he starts to pursue a female super wizardess, Zatanna. Of course, she wants nothing to do with the Joker, so she casts a spell on him that guarantees that no one else will ever bear his offspring. But it backfires, making it so Joker gives birth all by himself, via vomiting, as readers eventually find out. Along the way, the comic strip depicts him with a huge belly and getting checked on a gynecologically. Okay, DC Comics now has a pregnant Joker. People are pissed. So look at the guy looking all underneath his legs, looking all in between his legs, and ready as I'll ever be, Atomic Skull. So Atomic Skull is looking all in between his, his legs and stuff. This is crazy. Okay, so in the end, the Joker's baby is a mutated version of himself. They're both enamored with one another. That's about all there is to the intrigue, and yet it's caused a lot of feathers to be ruffled in conservative circles per usual. Some on Twitter are accusing DC of trying to push the LGBT-friendly narratives onto their base, which they say has been going on for a while through decisions like making Robin and Superman gay. Well, not necessarily. Well, Robin, yeah, they made Robin gay, which is it's bogus. He was never that. I've already done some content on that. Robin has never shown any propensity to that. He was never that. And now all of a sudden, now he's gay. One of the Robins anyway. And now they've made Superman's son gay. He's got some multicolored haired boyfriend, and it's just, nobody wanted this, but they're pushing it on people, and adults read this stuff, but kids read it too, and why? Just why? But anyway, by the way, the word trans is never mentioned in the latest iteration, but that doesn't seem to have clicked with this crowd. They see what they want to see, and they see trans Joker. Get those forehead veins throbbing, y'all. Okay, yeah. Well, you don't have to say it. Where does a man have a baby and get a gynecological study done, testing done? Where does that happen? They downplay this stuff as if it's inconsequential, but it is what it is. Yeah. It's a trans Joker article, that they have they pushed on to the public. It is what it is, and people don't want it. Plain and simple. The fans don't want it. None of the Batman readers want it. None of the Batman readers wanted Robin to be gay. Here you have, people, fans of these comics who have read these comics their entire lives and have never had to deal with any kind of homosexuality or any of that stuff. And now all of a sudden, here it is. Now, we got to deal with this. My son came up with Batman. I came up with Batman under my father. And now all of a sudden, here we go. Retroactively, one of the Robins is gay. Came out of nowhere. And the Joker's having babies and whatnot. Okay, and this isn't where it ends. I mean, this is just one of the stories that have been, just floating through a bunch of these stories. A bunch of these comics are now going into that. But what I say to that is that why don't you go into indie comics and just start making gay indie comics instead of just going through and willy-nilly making characters gay in our comics. Why do you have to do this in the movies that we have to watch? I mean, why is it that every movie that we have to consume has to have more gay inclusion than we ever see in our day-to-day lives? Why do we have to do that? And the more of that happens, the more of it happens out here. It's like you're trying to normalize this stuff to the point to where it's more of it's happening out in the world. More of it's happening out in the world as a result of what's happening on TV, I think, and it's crazy, and, more and more, they're trying to expose this stuff to children. We don't get to expose children to any heterosexual sexuality, but we sure as hell can expose them to any kind of the other stuff, and then if you say anything about it, guess what? You're going to be banned. You're going to be shut down, on multiple platforms. This stuff has happened where, basically if you say anything against it, you're hating them in some way. No, it's called criticizing. And criticizing is not hatred. It's just saying that you can be whatever you want to be, but it has a place, and that's that. It's always been around, but it's always been in its own place, and that's fine. If I don't want to see that, or if I don't want to have my kids exposed to that, then they shouldn't have to be exposed to that, and, children shouldn't have to be exposed to sexuality until they are of that age, and unfortunately, now it's just everything is everything. Unfortunately, with social media, the great experiment, everything is just out there, for the public. And I think that's why we're having so many psychological problems out everywhere. There's so many undiagnosed people just running around, and people are acting like they're normal. People are running around here with issues, and people are saying that they're normal instead of giving these people help. And then they go out and they catastrophize everything. Well, if we don't accept these people, then thousands of people are just going to die. But yet you have no statistical evidence that anybody has died. Nobody's died, or unalived themselves, or whatever you want to call it. That there's data out here. You can go and you can look at how many trans people have unalived themselves from year to year. You can see how many people have unalived themselves as a result of before having transition, after having transition, all of that. Their studies have been done. So if you want to know anything about it, you can't know anything about it, but rarely is any scientific or psychological evidence put forth that is objective and not subjective. So I just say that let's leave the kids out of it. Let's leave things like comic books and things like superhero movies and all that stuff. Let's just leave that alone. If you want to put it in your your adult stories, you can go ahead and do that. But let's just leave the kid stuff alone. Leave the superhero stories alone. Nobody needs to see, super trans people and all that kind of stuff. We don't, we just don't necessarily, want to see that. And if you want to do that, then, market that to trans people, and if we don't want to necessarily consume that, then fine, but that's why you have genres. If you want to see horror, you go see horror. If you want to see, whatever, big legs, you go see big legs. You go see, whatever, big backs, you go see big backs. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you want to see, you have genres. But see, y'all don't want genres. Y'all just want it all just mashed together like hamburger. You have hamburger, you have pork mashed up in there, you have weenie in there, you just have a bunch of stuff in there. It just don't even go together. Well, we don't like it. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And, I don't know. Tell me if I'm just being over the top in the comments. I'm just saying, yet again, we are being imposed upon by the powers that be with yet another intrusion into things that we like Joker and Superboy and, who else have they made? Iceman is gay now. Let's see, who else? Who else is gay? There's just all kind of gay folks out there with superpowers. And, they just have messed up my superpower watching hobbies. It's just difficult now, So anyway, you guys let me know what you think, and this is not homophobia or anything like that. This is just, let me watch my cartoons, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But thank you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content. And you guys have a great day, night, evening, or whenever you're watching, and hit that notification button.